I'd like to introduce psychologist Hagui Avisar, founding director of Positive Psychology Melbourne. Today we're going to chat about relationship difficulties and couple counselling. Hello, Hagui.
Hi. Nice.
Good to see you. So many people struggle at some point in a relationship, and especially when it's a marriage and it's long term. So what are typically the types of problems a lot of couples have?
Well, typical issues for couples will depend often on the stage of their relationship. If they are young couples, they struggle with issues of commitment and decision about long-term relationship. If they are a young couple with children, often the arrival of babies and children presents a great deal of stress on the family. So later on is an issue of friendship, how close we are, what we hope and get from life, and it's often tension around roles and responsibilities and how you divide it. Often it's about how you share power in decision making, who decides about, let's say, discipline or about money. It's about negotiating the power, if you want, because we live in an era where gender issues is we aim at equality, and often people struggle to juggle the right dose of equality here in sharing.
That is difficult, isn't it? Because a lot of people both partners are earning money, but then sometimes maybe the tasks in the house are still left maybe to the female. Or that must be a hard struggle for a lot of couples.
Yes. I think it's a cultural struggle for all couples, I think, who live in freedom. Just to remind you, the whole idea of freedom and equality is only 2 generations.
Yeah, well, it's not. I suppose it's not something that we've seen for generations, is it? So it's something that we're all learning right now.
Yes.
And going back to people have children, and I suppose when the couple you've been together a long time, things change, don't they? And you don't prioritise each other the same as you used to.
Yes, this is when you will have the issue of neglect each other, neglect what I call the inner child. And as I often suggest to couples to regard the family as if they are another 2 children in the household, their inner child, and they need to look after that as well, just as well, and it's not less important. I often say to couples that if you ask kids what they would hope most in their life, they would say not another present or gift as much as they want to see their parents happy.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the feelings we all want. It's not necessarily the things that are going to make us happy.
Yes, and when you run the household, or you are parenting your child, you're parenting not from your hands, which is the doing. You often do that from your heart, which is how you feel at the moment. If you have a bad mood, you're grumpy. So even the best discipline methods is not going to work well.
No.
Because the child will get to the vibes and will respond to that. So.
And they do, and they just get so much worse when you're not in the mood.
Yes.
So when couples are having issues, when is a good time for them to say, okay, we need to see some professional help?
From our perspective as professionals, we would like them to come earlier. Often they come when they are so tired and exhausted with the fights, and I think they often know that they need that, but it's more about the decision and who will initiate the counseling. It takes the courage to allow this vulnerability and to admit to yourself that you struggle with certain issues and you want to come and do the work. But if you come to that with a sense of you are a problem or you have failed here and you want to fix it, I think it's one attitude. The other attitude that I would like for clients to come to see me with is the attitude of what we are here to learn and grow and study together. It's because the way I see my work is to help them learn relationship skills that will help them for life, which is like how to connect better, how to negotiate conflicts more constructively, and so on. It's
true, isn't it? It's not something that we're taught at school, is it? And if you don't have the model at home with your own parents, how do you work out how to have a good relationship and keep it going forever?
Yes, I think relationships, it's strange, but relationship is the number one factor that is contributing to our well-being. All psychology research will tell you that. Want to guarantee happier life, look after your relationship with your friends, with your family, with your intimate partners, and so on. Even though we know this is the number one factor for well-being, we don't invest enough in making sure that people have the right skills to get it right.
No, it's nearly, we need a subject at school for it, don't we?
Well, yes, it's not something that you teach as a theory. It's something that you will have to get it more experiential, and then you ask, and who will teach this experience? Because you need the people that themselves have the right, appeal and presence, and give you a sense of reassurance and confidence.
And that's where someone like you comes in. Really, isn't it? You can come in and talk about your problems, and you can have somebody can give you the tools to learn.
Yes, and often the tools is really the way we facilitate a session, the way we allow them to connect with each other, and the way we connect with them. So it's also a kind of a modeling. We would like to convey some genuine presence when we interact with them.
And you operate under a model called positive psychology. So what does that actually entail? What's that mean?
Positive psychology is a new branch of psychology in the last 15 years, which aimed at researching and studying and developing the sides of the brain, which is all about your strength, your potential, and what makes you at your best, what makes you flourish. So traditionally, psychology would follow the medical model, which is let's look at what problems are, whether it's depression or trauma, and bring the patient to the baseline, let's say from -5 to 0. A new model is to aim not just as 0 as the baseline, to aim from -5 at +5, meaning to get you to really operate in a state of flourishing. So you're thriving rather than just surviving, I suppose. Exactly, we aim at that. So this is why we will focus on teaching skills for life, on cultivating strength and pleasant emotions, like whether it's joy, appreciation, gratitude, inner peace, and so on. And so during couples counselling, what kind of exercises do you get couples to do that can be helpful? The basic is really to get them to understand each other. What happens, we end up blaming and wanting to find ourselves on the right side. So it becomes a discussion of who is right and who is wrong. And you would like to transform the discussion to a discussion about how I understand myself and my partner. Because when you understand and really understand, something opens in your heart. You feel more acceptance and more compassion to the other person. So this is the very basic skill that you want to understand. Then you look at skills like how we negotiate conflicts and how I express that, what happens to me around conflict, the emotions that it triggers within me, kind of memories from the past. Yeah. And you run workshops for couples. So what is the difference between, say, going to a counselling session and actually doing a workshop? Well, workshop is, in my view, is a wonderful setting for learning. You bring a kind of a different mindset. You know that in workshop you come to practice and to learn certain skills. For example, the last workshop I ran for a few couples, there were opportunities to share, and then people get to feel a bit more normalized in their issues. You're not alone. No, you're not the only one. Yes. Yeah. And you get to practice with your partner many of the skills that I teach, I explain. And it's a different forum for learning. Okay, well, basically, because we are running out of time, what the take-home message is that there are obviously lots of skills that we can all learn in our relationships, and to have somebody like yourself who can have an experienced look at what's going on can teach us skills for life with dealing with each other. That's it, and I hope that couples, I would say, can tap into more humility within themselves, which is to acknowledge that there are so much that I don't know and haven't learned, and since I am doing that as a profession, I can tell you that from my experience in learning, in workshops and seminars and the books and the literature, I've learned so much and so much to take. All you need is really to acknowledge for yourself there is much for you to learn, and be willing to come with open mind and humility to say, okay, I'm learning. It's not that I am wrong here and something wrong about me that I need to fix, but it's something about relationship skill that you would like to learn.